April the 15th, 1941. A big-scale air raid on Belfast lasting several hours. The din of the anti-aircraft firing, of the bursting of heavy bombs, was terrific and shook the house. Great damage was done by firebombs to business and residential areas. Crumlin Road, Antrim Road, York Road seemed all on fire. An appalling sight.
A vivid description there of the Belfast Blitz. This year is, of course, the 70th anniversary of the Blitz which devastated London. Hitler's bombers turned their fire on Belfast the following year. The coverage on television and radio has brought back memories for pensioner William McCracken of the nights as a 10-year-old when he watched from the relative safety of Carrickfergus as the bombers unloaded their deadly cargo. I spoke to him earlier.
I was about 10 years of age, and I lived at Woodbourne, and it was elevated so as you could see everything went on Belfast. There was a small raid went over with not very many bombers, and I out on the street watching it, and the Belfast, I went away. And then a big one on Easter Tuesday come on, and the bombs were falling all over Belfast. My parents, they lived, and a air main, landed on 76 Merview Street, their house, and blew it to pieces, but they had got out of it just about 10 minutes before it did that there. This kept going on, and in Carrick you could have saw the flashes going on all from about, say, 11 o'clock, 12 o'clock, tracks right up to 4 o'clock. And I was able to witness it all, and at about 2 o'clock, all of a sudden there was a screaming noise. And overhead, and it couldn't be very high, so one of the German bombers had broke away and tried to drop a bomb on the salt ponds in Carrick. That was where the salt and brine was made in salt, and the steam went through the roof, and they saw it steaming. But they missed it by 100 yards and blew up the blacksmith shop in Ellis Street in Carrick. But they still continued on with their bombing. But the thing about it was that I always remember as this year that no other city in the United Kingdom, save London, lost as many dead in one night as Belfast. And Belfast lost about between 700 to 800 people killed in one night of it. So it was a third, and you never hear it mentioned anywhere. But that's about apparently after, I did read after about, for we weren't told very much about things they got there. But all night long, they were apparently HMS Furious, and I don't know, was it an aircraft carrier or a battleship. It went on all night, boom, 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 boom. It went on all night firing up in at the German planes, but didn't hit any.
And you were only 10 years old. How did you feel, William?
At 10 years of age, you wouldn't feel fear. It was all nosiness. Watching sometimes it was so bright, and the moon, and sometimes you just saw one of them crossing the moon as they come down Belfast Loch after that a load off, and then on Belfast. You didn't have fear at 10 years of age. I stood and watched it from it started until the sirens went.
I suppose for a 10-year-old that could be almost like the excitement of a war picture.
It really was. I can still see Belfast. I'm not just living in the same place now, but I can really transport myself back to Stan on the hedge, watching down into Belfast and seeing the flashes going off all over it. All night long these were going. And these bombers flying back and forward. Some of them come down, took a dummy run, they must have, and then turned them and back up again and had another go. What surprised me was it was so little was made of so many killed in Belfast. About 2 nights later, an uncle took me up to see 76 Upper Merview Street when it was flattened. And at that time, there was no M2. The railway line was where the water's edge came in. And whenever the tide went out, there was all these great big round holes in the sand where they tried to bomb the railway line, missed it, and bombed the sand. And every time the tide went out, it left all these big holes full of water. I always remember looking at that. Whenever I go into Belfast railway station, it has been cleaned up, but it was wrecked. And then I walked up Duncarn Gardens and turned in round to the bottom of Merview Street and looked up. It was fenced off, and I looked up at it and I could see the house. Nothing there. Just a great big gap there. And the house that hadn't got it beside it, there was a bed half hanging out of the wall. I remember distinctly.
Did your family lose friends or neighbours in the Blitz?
Everybody managed to get out of up in Merview Street into an air raid shelter. But apparently the street behind it, now I don't know any of the street behind Upper Merview Street, but apparently there was an awful lot of people killed in it. I think it went on, it looked like 50 or 60 people were killed in that street.
That's William McCracken with his memories of the Belfast Blitz. And after